Hey there my Battlefield friends and fans, and welcome back to Battlefield Hardline. Yes, some more Battlefield Hardline. I just love this new DLC. I can't get enough. It's so much fun. Everyone else that's playing this agrees. We can't get enough. So I'm rocking here the M5 SD, and that's basically the gun that I mentioned before when I did the review of the maps, when I thought it was a battle rifle and then realized that this is actually an SMG. It's actually a variation of the M5, and that's an SMG. And it basically has a 9mm Luger caliber. It's fully automatic. It's made in Germany, and it's got 25 round magazines in reality, but as you can see here, it's actually got 36 rounds. So yeah, games are not always realistic, and that's totally fine with me. I don't care if the guns are realistic in a game, but I do care that the environment is kind of realistic. You know, when you look at any Battlefield map, you feel like this world is really a world that exists already. It's out there somewhere. And I know when the developers do make the maps, or the designers actually decide what maps to use, they go to actually those kind of locations and make photos, take notes and stuff like that, and then kind of render a map based on what they collected. So that's why a lot of times, you know, or most of the times, when you run around in maps that have been done from authentic locations, you actually feel right at home. You feel like, yeah, you know, this is exactly how it's supposed to look. That's, you know, I've been in areas like this, especially since I've lived in California, and I recognize some of the, you know, map details of, for example, the Pacific Highway map. So back to this match. This was actually a really fun match, but I have to say, this M5 SD is beast. I didn't even see this guy. Look at that guy. He almost blended into the wall. So the M5 SD, I don't want to go into detail. There are not really a lot of details on the web about this gun anyway, or at least not about the game version of it. So it's basically just an MP5 that acts is very accurate, very powerful, and MP5s are great anyway. So it's got the urban camo on it, which I love. Looks like you have graffiti all over your gun. But what I wanted to really talk about in this video is the comparison that's often being made between Battlefield and Call of Duty, especially lately since Battlefield Hardline has come out. This comparison pops up even more, especially when you go to like the Battlefield Facebook page, for example, or even on Twitter. People are just constantly calling this, oh, it's just like COD, and it's, you know, DICE or Visceral, whatever, EA has destroyed the game, and oh my god, you know, I understand, but people hate on Call of Duty. I mean, I have to say I'm guilty myself. I used to love Call of Duty 4, and then, you know, like the Black Ops, and, you know, until they started to kind of become futuristic and super unrealistic, and it just kind of felt more and more like a kid's game than an actual military shooter like it was at the beginning, and I just completely lost interest. I also lost interest because I had to listen to screaming 10-year, 12-year-olds all the time, and then those same 12, 10-year-olds or even younger boys were just cursing all the time. And when they found out, oh my god, when they found out you were a girl, then it, you know, hell went loose, and so you had to constantly mute everyone, and it was just super annoying. Then there was the cheating, there was the hacking, there was the boosting that went on. It just went on and on and on, and I just more or less interest. I was like, you know, I'm an adult. I don't need to play this kiddie game anymore. I'm gonna go and find myself a much better, more adult focused, more realistic shooter. And I'm not saying that, you know, Battlefield is super realistic. It's not realistic that you can revive someone once they're like have been shot dead and they're like back to life. Stuff like that, you know, I know that. But when I talk about realistic, it's more like in so many situations you feel like, for example, in this guy, when cops and robbers shoot at each other, I imagine it would look just like that. It would be a big shootout and people die. I mean, that's how you see it in the news. So back to Call of Duty again. Call of Duty, why would you compare Battlefield and Call of Duty even? You can't even compare. They're two completely different games. It doesn't matter if it's Battlefield 4, Battlefield 3, Battlefield Hardline. Call of Duty has absolutely nothing in common with those games besides that they're both FPS games. First person shooters, if you don't know what FPS means. So, what does Call of Duty not have? Call of Duty does not have any destruction. Call of Duty does not have any large infantry scale maps. Call of Duty does not have any vehicles. Yeah, there was one Call of Duty once, the World War II version that had tanks, and everyone was complaining, we don't want any vehicles. So there you go. There are no vehicles in Call of Duty. Boring. The game is not made really for team play. It's a lone wolf game. Everyone runs around, and what people are interested in Call of Duty is death kill ratio. I'm not saying people are not interested in their death kill ratio in this game. Of course they are. Everyone is. I am. You know, when you have a good death kill ratio, you feel proud, you feel like, ha. And also, who likes to die all the time? It's no fun. So of course you try to survive, and that's part of the fun. But the big deal about Battlefield is that it's super team oriented. It's all about helping your team and getting to win together. And yes, there are always people who do not understand how to play the objective. It happens in every game, and those people are frustrating. I have another match I may actually put online, I'm not sure yet, which we had half of the team leave on both sides, so we were a pretty small team against another small team, and the other team, despite being a small team, just really was going for the flags like crazy. They just captured and captured and captured. We couldn't keep up with them, and my team, a lot of them, there was like 2 snipers sitting up on a hill and doing their own whatever. Another guy was just hanging around in his car in one corner, and I kept taking the flags over and over and over. But because I was all by myself, when I got shot, I basically had to start from scratch. I lost that flag, nobody else took it. And so those kind of situations can be super frustrating, and it happened to me in Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, it happens to me in Hardline. It has absolutely nothing to do with Hardline, and so you can't say anything about Hardline anymore. So anything you say about Hardline is the same in any other Battlefield game. So that's that. What's cool about Battlefield, for example, is that you can give out ammo, you can revive your teammates, you can give out med packs. You can definitely help your team, and that's where a lot of times when you actually run with a squad and you help each other, you can all survive. You may get killed, but you get revived, so you don't die, and because that means you don't lose tickets, which means you have a really good chance to win the match. And isn't that the whole point of the game, or of any game really? Well, multiplayer game that is, of course, not single player game, but you get the point. What else is different between Call of Duty and Battlefield? Call of Duty maps are tiny. You say Battlefield maps are small. I don't know where you get that from. Maybe some of them are smaller than Battlefield 4 maps or Battlefield 3 maps, but even Battlefield 4 has indoor non-vehicle maps that are smaller and tighter, and they're hugely popular. They're fan favorites. People play them 24/7. So don't tell me that's the case. And I don't even want to mention jumping around like grasshoppers in silly suits. That's Call of Duty. We don't have that kind of stuff in Battlefield. But if you still say that Battlefield Hardline is like Call of Duty, then you obviously haven't played both games, because if you did, you would know you're full of it. So take that, and for all the other ones, I hope I see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.